What's good, TMG fam? It's your boy L, and I'm back with another reaction. How y'all feel? Welcome back to the channel. Salute. Listen, I gotta get me a new chair. Y'all hear all that squeaking? You know, it's killing me. Listen, how many of y'all do not like confined spaces? Like being in a confined space, like maybe an elevator or a closet or something like that. Just being there just freaks you out to the point where you start sweating, possibly hyperventilating, like just can't handle a tight space. Like you can't handle your shirt being buttoned all the way to the top or something like that. Speaking of shirts, I still got on this kitty shirt. I'm gonna rock with it though until I'm done for the day, man. It's killing me, man. I feel like I got on like one of those, what them women put on, man, them little things that waist trainers or something. I feel like a waist trainer shirt. But anyway, man, back to what I was talking about. Like confinement, some people just cannot handle confined spaces. Well, this video here is 10 scary prisoners that was left in solitary confinement. Left in solitary. Like most of us couldn't do maybe a day or two in solitary confinement before we start going crazy. These people were left there. I don't know how long. Like that, like you just start probably going, I can imagine it, but I can't imagine it at the same time because I don't want to sit here and act like I can imagine what somebody's going through in solitary confinement. But just imagine how crazy, delirious, delusional you would be inside of a solitary confinement, man. No interaction with the outside world, probably doing, probably more than likely 24 hours a day, like just in a room. I would go nuts. Like I'm one of those people that can't sit still. I gotta walk around. Queen tell me all the time, like, you just can't sit still. I move around, I get up, I go from one place to the other. So being there, that would destroy me, for real. But we're gonna get into this video and check this out, man. Shout outs to Most Amazing Top 10s, man. And if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, join the family, and hit the like. Let's get to it. Here we go.
That there are anywhere from 80,000 to 100,000 people currently living in solitary confinement in the US alone. This is where
she said currently living. Whew.
The most dangerous criminals in the country spend their days. They are allowed little to no outside contact, and they are under strict supervision. So let's take a look at some of these terrifying prisoners. Hey everyone, what's up and welcome back to Most Amazing Top 10. I'm your host, Lindsay Ivan, and today I'm bringing you the top 10 scary prisoners left in solitary confinement. Starting off this countdown, we have the Man in the Iron Mask. The Man in the Iron Mask is the name given to an unidentified prisoner arrested in 1669 or 1670. He was imprisoned during the reign of King Louis XIV of France. Now, what's so scary about this prisoner is how his identity was always kept unknown. He was forced to wear a mask that blocked off his face. Some say he wore a black velvet mask, while others reported that it was a full-on iron mask. Apparently, the guards were ordered to shoot this man if he ever removed the mask.
Wait a minute. Hold up. Wait a minute. As Cat Williams say, let me put some pimping in it. You mean to tell me not only do I gotta be confined to this solitary confinement space, I have to wear a mask too? Like I have to have this mask on me the entire time, and you giving the guards orders to shoot me? You might as well shoot me now. Why do I have to wear, like, come on. Where am I going? I'm not trick-or-treating. Why am I having a mask on? What is the purpose of this? Like, man, they strip you down to everything and then they put a mask on you.
On top of that, he was kept in solitary confinement with double doors. He spent the rest of his life there until he died on November 19th, 1703. Moving on to number 9, we have Jesse Pomeroy. Jesse Pomeroy, otherwise known as the Boston Boy Fiend or the Boy Torturer, was convicted of countless murders at the age of 14 in 1875. He would abuse, torture, and then kill his victims. In fact, he was the youngest person in the history of Massachusetts to be convicted of first-degree murder. When Jesse was caught, he admitted to the murders and was sentenced to live in the Westboro Boys Reform School until he was 18. However, while at the school, he went on to commit other murders. That's when he was sentenced to prison and was placed in solitary confinement. His only interactions were with his guard and his mom, who would visit him once a month. In our 8th spot,
If I'm your mom, I'm hesitant about coming. What's stopping you from trying to kill me? You killed everybody else. What gives me the pass? Like, nah, you'd have had to call me, fam. you'd have had to call me, bro. Everything is strictly telecommunications. Like, no, you got to call me, bro. Nope.
we have Ianmanuel. In 1990, when Ianmanuel was only 13 years old, he shot a woman in the face, blowing out part of her jaw during a robbery. Thankfully, she survived, but as a result of his crime, he was tried and convicted as an adult. As a result, he was sentenced to 65 years in prison. He was one of the youngest inmates in the Tampa State Penitentiary. Manuel spent 15 plus years in isolation, making him the longest serving inmate in solitary confinement in Florida. Eventually, he was released after the woman he shot actually fought for his freedom, claiming everyone does dumb things when they're young, and she didn't want him to waste his life in jail.
Wow. Talking about your angel coming in a different form. In the form of the person you shot. The person you shot, how ironic. The person that you shot is the person outside fighting for your freedom. Wow. Now they need to take that story, and you need to hear about that story. They need to go on like a tour. And he could probably save a lot of people's lives that way. Because there's a lot of people out here that want to do dumb things like that, or get themselves into dumb situations like that. Emphasis on dumb. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not condoning that type of stuff at all. And they need to go out and talk about stuff like that, man. They can prevent a lot of people from that. But let's get back to the subject at hand. He did 15 years in solitary confinement. 15 years. I couldn't do 15 days. It'd be hard to do 15 hours. What do? Read books, create fictional stories in your head, like write. What do? I want to know the suicide rate for solitary confinement, because I know a lot of people probably take themselves out.
In our 7th spot, we have Ian Brady. Between 1963 and 1965, Ian Brady and his accomplice tortured, abused, and killed 5 individuals. They would bury their bodies on the moors outside of Manchester, which gave them the name the Moors Murderers. The crimes they committed were horrific, and Brady expressed no remorse. As a result, he was held in solitary confinement. His only contact with the outside world was through letters. It's said that on his free time, he would memorize whole pages of Shakespeare and Plato and then recite them to himself. He would also often interact with television programs. Brady died in prison on May 15th, 2017 at the age of 79. Making our way down the list, number 6, we have Dennis Rader. Between the years of 1974 to 1991, American serial killer Dennis Rader took the lives of 10 individuals. In 2005, he was convicted for his crimes, and now he's facing 175 years in solitary confinement without the possibility of parole. Now, Dennis likes to go by the name BTK, or the BTK Strangler, which stands for bind him, torture him, and kill him. So that says a lot about who this guy is. But thankfully, he is locked away and has no chance of escaping. To this day,
who does that look like? A real life Heisenberg from Breaking Bad, don't it? Does that not look like the mugshot from Heisenberg on Breaking Bad? That's uncanny. He has a Winnebago somewhere. They need to find it. They need to find it.
Dennis is considered one of the most diabolical serial killers in American history. We are now at our 5th and halfway mark with John Massey. In 1975, John Massey got into a fight with a pub's bouncer and he shot him in the chest. At the age of 26, he was sentenced to life for murder. But while in prison, Massey managed to successfully escape 3 times. His most notorious escape was when he made a makeshift rope out of sheets and a pair of heavy-duty gloves to climb over the prison wall. As a result of his escapes, he was placed in solitary confinement. He was allowed 15 minutes outside of his cell each day and had only 8 minutes for a phone call. Other than that, he was kept locked away. He is considered one of Britain's longest-serving prisoners. He was eventually released after spending nearly 43 years behind bars. In our 4th spot, we have Thomas Silverstein. Thomas Edward Silverstein was an American criminal jailed for armed robbery in 1978. But while in prison, he committed numerous other crimes. In 1983, he killed a prison officer who he stabbed multiple times. Then he murdered 2 inmates. As a result, he had to be detained in a specially designed cell at the ADX Florence Federal Penitentiary in Colorado. Due to the crimes he committed while in jail, he is considered the most violent prisoner in America. He is also referred to as America's most isolated man. Now, Silverstein was considered so dangerous that he got transferred to a federal prison in Atlanta. There he was confined in a—
Why he had to be in Atlanta? Why y'all gotta bring him here? Why here? Why here? There's several other places he could have went.
a 6 by 7 foot cell. He was constantly under surveillance. In fact, the lights in his cell were never turned off so that they could always keep an eye on him. Silverstein eventually died in prison at the age of 67. He is said to have served the longest term in solitary confinement in the federal penitentiary system. Coming in at number 3, we have—
Fool died of loneliness is what he died from. Or either them lights baked him because he had to leave them on all the time. Them lights probably baked him.
Eileen Werner. Eileen Werner, often referred to as the Damsel of Death, was found guilty of killing 7 men. She claimed it was self-defense, but then later pleaded guilty to the murders.
All 7 times those were self-defense? Like you just kept picking a guy 7 times that you had to defend yourself against? The common denominator was you. Who believed that story? Yes, I just keep picking these dudes that I have to defend myself against. 7 times, huh? Okay, we'll buy it. Not.
She would murder them, rob them, and then drive home in their cars. Due to this, she was named America's first female serial killer. Now, Eileen was placed in solitary confinement for quite some time, but then she started to grow paranoid. She thought that the people making her food were spitting in it, and then she also claimed that she was being attacked by a sonic weapon. As a result, she wanted the court to hurry up with her death sentence.
That's that delirious stuff I tell you, you start going through in your mind. They spitting in my food. They trying to kill me. Sonic sword is what?
On October 9th, 2002, Eileen died by lethal injection. Moving on to number 2, we have Elizabeth Bathory. Elizabeth Bathory, otherwise known as the Countess who bathed in blood, was a serial killer in Hungary back in the 16th century. It's believed that she had killed around 650 girls. She's also considered the most vicious female serial killer in all recorded history. It's believed that her husband was a big influence in her killings. Apparently, he told her to torture her servants. He said for her to pour honey all over them and then let the bugs eat them. But her killings didn't truly start until she met a witch named Anna Darvula. This witch told Elizabeth that bathing in the blood of the young would help her maintain her youth. And that's exactly what she would do. Eventually, Elizabeth was sentenced to life in solitary confinement. She was locked up in her castle's torture chamber. The windows and doors were boarded up with her inside. There was only a small hole in which food was passed in through. On August 21st, 1611, she passed away. And in our number 1 spot, we have—
I don't want to say thank God, but it's definitely implied. Bathing in the blood. Come on, man. Some people are sick.
have Robert Maudsley. Now, I talked about Robert in my other video on dangerous criminals, and there's no way that I couldn't include him on this list. Robert Maudsley is considered Britain's most dangerous prisoner. Maudsley was originally convicted for 1 murder, however, killed 3 more individuals in prison, which got him placed in solitary confinement. In 1977, Maudsley and his fellow inmates held another prisoner hostage. They ended up torturing him for 9 hours before cracking his head open and killing him. Now, it's rumored that he may have ate some of that prisoner's brain.
Oh, you Hannibal Lecter mother. Oh. You ate his brain? How does somebody torture somebody for 9 hours and no prison guard or nothing, warden, prison guards, somebody not catch whip of this? 9 hours of torture and nothing.
As a result, he was deemed the real-life Hannibal Lecter. After that, he murdered 2 more inmates, which got him placed in solitary confinement. In fact, he is locked up in a glass cell underneath Wakefield Jail. He spends 23 hours of his day there. And that's all for today's video. Let's move on to our comment shout-out portion.
That's the first person that I've ever heard of that was actually put under the jail. Under the jail. He is under the jail. And that's crazy. That's crazy. He on some Magneto type of prison confinement type stuff, man. Sick. Listen, man, I told y'all this was probably going to be crazy. As it was, it lived up to the name. The 10 scary prisoners left in solitary confinement. I wish that on nobody, but if they got to be in it, man, I just say, Godspeed, bro, because I couldn't do it. Nope. You heard that one lady, she was like, when are y'all executing me? Can y'all speed this up, please? Like that type of thing. But y'all get at me in the comment section, man. Let me know what y'all think. Leave a like, share the video, subscribe, and stick around and stay tuned to the next reaction. I'm out. Peace. Y'all stay solid. Hey.